Hello everyone, first news update for 23rd of March. It is Sunday, so I hope you all have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Now it's 20 past 10 in the morning Moscow time, and I have prepared quite a number of news on some interesting major developments, and hopefully you will find this update informative and interesting. Although before I start, let me make a few announcements about programming on Patreon and Boosty pages. And so from tomorrow, I will resume walking talk videos, and I will try to make as many walking talk type of news updates as possible. If weather is good, if it's not a heavy rainfall or something, I will make this first updates in walking talk style. And also from tomorrow, I want to resume program that I used to have some time ago on Patreon, which is kind of a daily diary of the blogger's life here in Russia. And now when I'm little better in the montage and some technical stuff, I think I'd be able to pull off that idea and to turn into interesting project. So from tomorrow, there are gonna be more walk and talk type of videos and more also entertaining content on my Patreon and Boosty pages, and hopefully our community will find it more appealing, interesting, and useful. And dear friends, this entertaining content, these daily videos, also going to be informative, because in those videos I will show you process of preparations of my news updates. So therefore I will obviously comment on some news, and therefore it is going to be not just entertaining but also informative. Hopefully I will manage to deal with this stuff, and in addition all the other projects and ideas that I have will are still in process of work, and soon I will publish second episode of heritage program. That's being said, let's go through some news now. And first of all, I give you this very interesting, important, and dangerous news that comes from Zelensky's aide, and basically answers the many questions in regards to recent statements of Trump and his team about U.S. control over their nuclear power plants on Kiev-controlled territory. And well, news is that according to Zelensky's aide, Arestovich, leadership of Kiev regime, including main intelligence directorate, had the plans to blow up nuclear power plants, and so and not just on Kiev controlled territory, but they had the plans to attack heavily target nuclear power plants on Russian territory in case if they will realize that they are losing this battle, this conflict. Let's go through some details here. So Ukraine's military intelligence chief Kirill Budanov proposed blowing up nuclear power plants to deny them to Russia if Kiev start losing in the conflict. Alexei Arestovich, a former aide to Vladimir Zelensky and potentially future president of Ukraine, by the way, has claimed in an interview with journalist Alexander Shelest on Friday. Arestovich weighed in on remarks by the US President Donald Trump, who suggested recently that American ownership of the Ukrainian nuclear power plants could be their best protection for that infrastructure. According to Arestovich, the US is trying to prevent a nuclear catastrophe rather than simply seize their facilities for its own benefits. And we have some quotes here also. They know about our plans to blow up all the nuclear power plants if Ukraine starts losing, Arestovich claimed. Budanov was running around with that idea already a year and a half ago to blow up everything, the Russian plants we can reach, and also our own, so nobody gets them. On the principle, we all bite the dust, but so will they. According to their ex-advisor, the US perceives the current Ukrainian leadership as apes with a grenade, with a hand grenade. They just want to take dangerous toys under their control. Arestovich went on to suggest that the Democrats in the US would have tried to do the same, but through backroom pressure. Whereas the Trump administration is acting in a much more straightforward and blunt manner. These guys are simple. They say, let's do this this way. We'll just take control over the plants, and that's it. As you know, dear friends, Trump said that he first floated the idea of taking over the nuclear plants during the phone call with Zelensky earlier this week, claiming that Washington could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. Zelensky, however, offered a different version of the events. He claimed that the two only spoke about Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, not the Ukrainian power generating industry in its entirety, and that the conversation revolved around their potential American investments. So, dear friends, now we have some answers, isn't it? Arestovich was an aide of Zelensky. He still has sources in Kiev controlled territory, understandably. So he was one of the most popular public figures there, and there potentially still is. And I believe he has some connections with Trump's team. I think so because a few months ago, Arestovich was a guest on one of the most popular podcasts in US, PBD podcaster, and he was given opportunity to basically present himself as a potentially future leader of Ukraine. And if you take in account that PBD has some connections with Trump's inner circle, one may argue that maybe Trump's team has some plans about Arestovich also. And maybe they receive information about these plans of Kiev regime to blow up nuclear power plants, not just from their own intelligence services, but also from Arestovich. It is a possibility. In any ways, now we have more clarity on the topic of US ownership or US control over Ukraine's nuclear power plant. And well, if initially I was critical of that idea because it seems like US just want to grab some stuff that belongs to people that live there, right? These power plants were built by Soviet people, and it did not look. Optics were not that good if US was just going in and grabbing whatever they can to grab. But now with these new revelations from Arestovich, well, it is becoming more clear that it's not necessarily about stealing some stuff from people of this former Soviet republic, but it is about nuclear safety, not to allow Kiev regime to actually go ahead with this nuclear terrorism, right? And by the way, as I said in my previous updates, currently on Kiev controlled territory there is a 3 nuclear power plants, I believe, right? And can you imagine level of disaster for this world if these psychopaths that US itself put in a position of power in 2014 when they orchestrated that coup d'etat? Can you imagine the level of this disaster for this world if these psychopaths go ahead with these plans and really blow up these nuclear power plants? So, I mean, I think with these new revelations, it is absolutely necessary even for US to take over these plants to make sure that Zelensky and his criminal associates, Budanov or whomever, will not blow them up, right? So you see what kind of elements being put in position of power in this former Soviet republic by their Western ruling class and the so-called Western elites, how dangerous these criminals really are. And when it comes to topic of nuclear power plants, we also have this report that director of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant stated directly and very clearly that no one but Russia to control Europe's largest nuclear plant. The Zaporozhye nuclear power plant belongs to Russia and will be operated by Russia. Its director, Yuri Chernychuk, has stressed dismissing any possibility of US or Ukrainian control over their facility. And as I already mentioned earlier this week during their conversation between Zelensky and Trump, according to Zelensky, he spoke about Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and possible US involvement in fate of this power plant. Although, once again, topic of ZMPP is out of question. It is a Russian nuclear power plant, and not just because director of the ZMPP says so, but because Zaporozhye region is Russia and everything that is there is Russian, right? So this topic is definitely out of question, but what about these other 3 nuclear power plants that are still on a territory that is controlled by Kiev regime? Maybe US will have to send, I don't know, its special forces to establish control over those nuclear power plants before these psychopaths, Zelensky, Budanov, and the rest of their human scum there will really blow them up. You know, who knows, man? But topic is extremely dangerous, isn't it? Topic is extremely dangerous, and unfortunately, I'm quite sure Western so-called media will say nothing about this topic. Western public will never know about this story, about this danger. Only, you know, minority, tiny minority of the Western public that actually pays attention to alternative media, because I'm quite sure it's not just me that paying attention to this topic, but many other channels in alternative media will probably also devote time to discuss this issue and the risks that Kiev regime is actually generating for entire world. Hello everyone, if you find this video informative and interesting, please click that like button, leave some commentary and share with your friends. If you want to support my work, you can do it through several means. All the links are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. And if you want to have access to full show, please consider to subscribe to my Patreon and Boosty pages. Thank you.